Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Eric, Derek, and Angel.
Hey.
Hi.
We are here tonight because we wanted to share memories and favorite moments of a beloved actress that we lost this past weekend, Shannen Doherty. She passed away on July 13th at the age of 53 after a 9-year battle with cancer. I'm not going to play the credits. I think we could just hop into the conversation. I guess we could start off with the first time we saw Shannen. Like, if you guys can remember the first thing you saw her in.
Yeah.
I'll go in alphabetical order. So, Angel, you go first.
Okay. Actually, ironically, well, not ironically, it wouldn't be ironically. I heard her name first. Like something like it was some rumor that she got her hair cut and also like it was a supermarket sweep, and that's why she got fired from the show. But and that made me interested in her. I was like, oh, who is this woman who cut her hair and she got fired from her show? So then my local UPN affiliate, well, it wouldn't be UPN at the time because it was in the 90s. UPN wasn't around. So my local affiliate started playing 90210, and I just snuck and kind of watched it a little bit. And that's when I saw, and she's always been a powerhouse. But I like her more on Charmed than not saying that I didn't like Brenda. I love Brenda, but I liked Shannen more on Charmed because she was more of a leading character on that show.
Okay.
So.
All right. What about you, Derek?
Our House when I was a little kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I watched it. It was with Deidre Hall from Days Were Alive and Wilford Brimley. Yeah, first thing I ever saw her in, and I actually started watching 90210 by accident. My parents were channel surfing one night, and I was like, "Leave this on. It looks good." I was only like 11 at the time. Probably should not have been watching it. But I watched an episode, and then like I would secretly go watch it downstairs. My parents told me not to watch this.
Your primetime soap addiction began.
Yeah.
Eric, what about you?
Our House as well. In
Oh, really?
the 80s. So that's where I first saw Deidre Hall. So when I watched these in '96, I was like, "Oh, the lady from Our House is in this."
Yeah.
So I did not know her otherwise.
We
And then 90210, I saw when Angel they started playing it on Philly 57, and then like a couple of years after it started on Fox. So I guess they worked out some kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's all about money. And then, of course, I was already a fan of Shannen, so then I joined Charmed. I was like in it. I watched every episode when it aired. Up until like season 7 and 8, I kind of was just like falling out of it. But Shannen was gone by then anyway. So
yeah.
and then I was excited when she joined North Shore as well.
Yes.
I was excited about that. I was hoping the ratings would jack up so it would get another season.
I think she definitely gave them a bump.
Yeah.
Between the 90210 and Charmed fans, definitely.
Yeah.
Before I give my answer, we have a few people in the chat. Matt, who joins us for our live streams all the time, is in here. He said,
"Hi, Matt. Hi, Kenneth."
It was Heather's. She rocked the role of Heather Duke. And then we have Kenneth, who says his favorite memory is, of course, Brenda on 90210, and she did the movie in the 90s called Obsessed. Oh my God, Kenneth, that is my favorite TV movie.
It's a really good movie.
I need to watch that.
Great.
I haven't
watched more TV movies.
We actually watched it for the podcast about a year ago, and everybody hated it but me.
What? It's a great movie. I was not part of that podcast. Forgive them. Forgive those other gays. That's ridiculous. That was a great movie. William Devane was in that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Devane.
So my first encounter with her was 90210. I was not allowed to watch 90210 because I was like, I would have been 5 when it first started, but I don't think I became aware of it till it blew up over the summer seasons. And so I came in that second summer season because that's when the whole triangle started.
Mhm.
And I remember being so intrigued by this triangle, and I had been watching it for a few weeks, and then my grandmother caught wind of it, and she was like, "You can't watch this." And I'm like, "But it's just getting good. What are you talking about?"
I was in the same boat, but I was a little older, but I still wasn't allowed to watch it.
So I started. That's how I started sneak watching it, because so I would either record it and watch it really early in the morning before everybody got up, or I would, if we had company, I would like keep it on for like a minute or two and then pretend like I was channel surfing and switch the channel and then go back to it. So I watched like watchy.
Little tricks. I used to do those too.
And then I eventually got like my own VCR and TV, and then I didn't have to do that anymore.
I actually watched since Little House on the Prairie, I see.
Yeah.
So she's been a fan since Shannen day one.
Yeah.
See, I think Little House on the Prairie was over by the time I was like old enough to be aware of what was happening on there.
It ended in '84, yeah.
But I did watch it in reruns. I think I only watched like the original, because wasn't she part of like the Next Generation or the New Generation or something?
Yeah, I forget what it was called. Yeah, she did the last season of that, so season 9, and then the 3 follow-up movies.
Yeah, and I think at that point I wasn't either. I didn't watch that in
Which
rerun.
I must point out. So last night I decided to have a Shannon marathon. I'm like, probably who didn't? So I kind of watched like all her first episodes of everything. I watched the first episode of that, which is a 2-part premiere, I guess, of season 9 of Little House on the Prairie. She
Mhm.
actually, so her father was played by Kevin's dad from Port Charles, number 1. He got killed off one there, and she was so depressed that she tried to kill herself. She tried to drown herself. That's how deep Little House on the Prairie was. So she walked in the water, tried to kill herself, and this boy ended up saving her. I was like, holy smokes. Yeah, crazy.
I actually
You can
have.
watch that on Prime, by the way. It's on Prime.
What is Friends to the End?
No, Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, okay. So Kenneth said I should check out Friends to the End. I actually have seen that movie.
Mm.
But that's
I
since
love
like the
that movie.
90s.
I actually cried yesterday for the first time when I saw a video of her singing in that movie. Yeah,
Really?
that was the only time I've cried when I saw her sing that song.
Uh,
Stop song. Yeah.
It's funny because what's her name? The actress that took over Carrie on Days is in that movie with her, and she was also on 90210.
Tracy
Tracy
Middendorf.
Middendorf.
I didn't
Yeah,
know she's in that movie.
love
Really?
Tracy.
Yeah, wasn't. Oh no, I'm confusing her with another blonde.
Jennifer
Nope,
Bond was the blonde. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
scratch it. False information.
Fake news.
So, I guess now we can talk about our favorite characters that she's played. Then, Angel.
While I love Brenda, Prue Halliwell is my favorite, because especially when her powers upgraded and she was able to do astral projection and everything like that, that was the coolest thing I ever saw.
Okay.
Yeah, right. That was cool.
Derek.
Okay, my answer might surprise you. Heather Duke is my favorite.
Oh, really?
I thought she did amazing in that movie. And Heather's is one of my favorite movies, and I didn't actually watch it until after I started watching 90210, probably when I was like a teenager. But I think that's my favorite of all her performances. She does such a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Eric.
I'm gonna say Chris Witherspoon from Our House, because I thought she was very like headstrong teenager. She was 15, wanted to be an astronaut, like just like was a very good character. Like that whole show is a really great family show, and I'm really sad that it got canceled after 2 seasons. But I did look it up. I looked up the ratings, and the ratings were pretty terrible. It was like 60th place from the first. So I'm surprised it even got renewed for a second season, but it did. And so we have 46 episodes, which are showing on YouTube, by the way.
I'll have to rewatch that because I don't remember it. Like I was such.
It's all on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just type in Our House 1986 and it'll all come up.
Huh. I guess I would have to say Brenda, honestly. Because when I think about Shannen, she just feels like my childhood. Like, I just feel like she's always been there in some form, whether it was 90210, her TV movies, Charmed, her guest spots on other shows. Like, and I feel like I've felt more connected to her since she started Let's Be Clear, her podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she really like put an end to all the rumors that everybody's heard about her over the years. As well as talking about her cancer and everything she's gone through, and having doctors on to give information about what people should try. Like there's different protocols and different types of cancer, and what might be right for one person isn't right for the other. And it's just very informative. And honestly, I feel like that was the last gift she gave to humanity, was to give them this information.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's hitting me harder than I thought it would. Like Luke Perry really hurt, and this is hitting me harder than I thought it would. To think that they're both gone now, it's just it's really rough.
It was kind of shocking with the podcast being every week. Like I felt like she wasn't going anywhere. You know, like that's what like it just felt like. And then she joined that Charmed rewatch thing last week, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. She was talking about she was excited to see Rose McGowan's episodes and stuff, and seeing what her perspective was on that. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And I was shocked. I really was. I
didn't believe it at first. I thought it was a hoax, and then I was like, it's real. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, admittedly, I am a few episodes behind on Let's Be Clear, but I did catch, I guess it would have been the last clip that they released from the podcast of her talking about, I guess, some form of cancer came back. And so she had to do chemo, and she was hopeful about new protocols being open to her. So I really thought we were going to have a few more years, definitely.
Yeah.
Same.
And I feel like, well, Angel knows. So like we were getting ready to podcast, and I had opened Twitter, and I was so like blown away because I saw the first news article, and I was just like, no, they're wrong. And then slowly more news articles started being posted, and I was like, is this really happening? And I was so blown away that I never hit paste on the link to send to Angel. And I'm like, hey, you coming? She's like, I didn't get the link. Like I just never
got episodes.
Like facts because I couldn't process that it was real. And then I immediately went to text Eric because I wanted him to hear it from me before he got bombarded with all the articles, but he was asleep. And then I went to text Derek, and Derek got to me first. And
yeah,
it was a rough morning, definitely.
When I woke up, I had like 5 texts and stuff because they know I'm a huge fan. I met her multiple times and love her to pieces.
So do we have a favorite guest appearance that she may have made on a show? Angel?
Ooh,
Riverdale?
When because that felt, oh my gosh, like that felt like when that felt like a full circle between her and Luke Perry. Her playing I want to call her the victim. Her playing the person that Luke Perry's character, Andrews. I forgot the first name of Luke Perry's character on Riverdale. I'm sorry, but
yeah, me too.
Archie Andrews' dad, but I forgot his first name.
Fred Andrews.
Fred Andrews, thank you.
Yeah.
He saved her.
The person who he saved her life. That just felt, that was like, and then seeing her like so emotional on that show, and seeing the characters on the show grieving like grieving Luke Perry.
Yeah.
That
was actually the last episode of Riverdale I watched. I stopped watching the show.
I stopped watching it before that as well, but I did watch that one. Yes. So
yeah.
Great.
I stopped before that.
What sticks out to me is Life Goes On with when she was in the first season. She played I don't remember her name, but she played Corky had a little crush on her. That's one I remember, and I liked her in that.
What was Life Goes On?
It was with Kelly Martin and
Patti LuPone.
Yeah, Patti LuPone. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a show about focused on a character that had Down syndrome.
Yeah.
I remember my mom watching that show, and then we actually read about the show in class. I was like, oh, I remember this show.
I love that show. I thought it was so good.
That was a really good show.
I wish they would release the rest on DVD. I only have season 1, but it's really good.
Yeah, that's another
and Shannen's in that season, so yeah.
that show, because of music rights, hasn't been released
because
Yeah.
literally their theme song
fully,
was Obla Di Obla Da. So
and they cut that, I think, in the DVDs. I think it's only in the first episode used, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt
Yeah.
mentioned Riverdale also, that she was sick at that point, but she felt like it was important to the fans, so that's why she did the appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like not long after that, she actually signed on for BH 90210.
Yeah, she definitely did.
Yeah, she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah. I think, was she listed as recurring for that, or was she in the credits? I can't remember.
Credits.
She was in the credits. Yeah.
I think, So they had the whole BH 90210 thing.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite guest appearance, Eric?
Trying to think. There was a show. I can't. Highway to Heaven. Was a good one.
Highway
And
to
yeah, she did like I think I forget if it was 2 parts or not, but that was good.
That makes sense because she talked about being close with Michael Landon.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many. All of her stuff was good. She always got some meaty material, I feel like, in the roles that she even picked as a child, like, which is crazy to me. Like I said, how deep that Little House on the Prairie one was. I was like, damn.
I don't know if this really like qualifies as a guest appearance because she kind of became a regular, but I would say North Shore because I think at first it was supposed to just be a guest role.
Yeah, she signed on for 5 episodes and then it continued.
Yeah. I posted it all over the socials for the podcast, but I love her intro when she gets out of the limo and they tell her like welcome to Hawaii or whatever. And I just love her line, beats the hell out of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point she hadn't really reconciled with what had happened on the show behind the scenes and with the cast and everything. So it just felt like such a gotcha moment for her, and I loved it.
She talked about that on the podcast, that she was like, it sounded like a dream to live in Hawaii, but it actually wasn't. And
really?
she was like, yeah.
Yeah, I really loved her on that.
Yeah, she's great.
I wish that show would have continued, honestly.
Same.
Right. At least 5 seasons.
Do we have a favorite movie of hers, Angel?
I'm gonna say somebody already said in the chat, but Mallrats. Mallrats. She was really good in Mallrats.
I've never seen that in its entirety.
Me and my friend watched it a few years ago. See, that's the thing. I want to know if the Steve Dave podcast, because there's a character on there that says "Tell him Steve Dave," but that's a whole podcast. It's a whole Kevin Smith lore. I know Kevin Smith posted a whole tribute to her, but I want to know if like the men on "Tell him Steve Dave's" going to mention it. So, but I think they tape like in advance or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Yeah,
I'll have to ask my friend how they tape because she listens to it more than I do. But yeah, I really liked her on Mallrats.
You would like if you didn't listen to the podcast, she talks about Mallrats with Kevin Smith for like half hour. So you would definitely like that episode.
And they talk about like the plans for like the sequel and how like definitely cast her in it. Yeah.
Oh.
What about you, Derek? Favorite movie?
Obviously, Heathers. It's definitely my favorite. Yeah.
I didn't see Heathers till I was in my 20s, but I do love it because I also love Winona Ryder. So
yeah.
Eric, favorite movie? It could be TV movie or feature film.
I know, it's so hard. I know I guess she wasn't in too many feature films, but
well, she kind of said that Mallrats put an end to her feature film career.
Yeah,
because it bombed.
I know, and it's a shame that Hollywood's like that. They're like jerks. I like this one called Striking Poses. She's like a photographer that gets stalked. That was fun.
Ooh.
I like those type of movies. I don't know. She does some good stuff, and she's done a lot of Lifetime movies recently. I didn't watch her most recent movies, which are all on Tubi, I believe.
Oh, really?
But she was in a movie with Mel Gibson, Bruce Willis, a bunch of them in the past few years for Tubi.
Oh.
But I didn't watch them yet. They're on my watch list. But...
So I know I mentioned Obsessed earlier that I do love that movie, but
Great.
I think I kind of want to say Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I love that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I love that movie in like a campy 80s like fun-loving way. I just love it.
Tell me the plot of that movie.
They want to basically be on like American Bandstand.
That's it. That's the plot.
That's pretty much it. They just want to be on this dance show.
Exactly. That's why I was like, this movie. Well, it's very 80s. So.
Yes, I love it. Didn't she do a Christmas movie where she was like a thief, like, and it was called like
Yes.
The Christmas Caper or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was ABC Family at the time. Who knows? Fox Family. It was one of them, but it was really good. I like that one too.
Do we have like a favorite moment from one of her characters that we love? Angel?
So many.
I know.
When she found out, so when Brenda found out that Kelly and Dylan were either they were dating or they cheat. Well, both. It's really they were dating and cheated, and Dylan cheated. She had this line where she was like, where she like was, they were outside and it was the three of them, and she just, I forgot what the line was.
I hate you both, never talk to me again.
You both never talk to me again.
Yes. And then she walks away, and I'm just like, and then like most recently, I know Bree Drew posted this clip where it was Steve and some girl. The girl was irrelevant to me, but she said, "Oh, by the way," how did she say it? She said, it was basically like the girl made Brenda miss her like dress, like the dress rehearsal or like the rehearsal of some play.
Oh, Tracy Middendorf. Yeah.
Tracy Middendorf, okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, okay, so she's not a role because it's Tracy Middendorf. But she was like, oh my gosh, how does she say it? She was like, oh, by the way, I'll have to watch that clip when I get off air and then I'll text you guys. But like, text you guys the clip, but it was so good. I was just like, I love Brenda.
I think that was one of Shannon's least favorite storylines.
The Angel Mention is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, after she was held up at gunpoint, she gave a really powerhouse performance in that episode in season 2.
Yeah, Meeting Mr. Pony.
Yeah, that was great. I thought that was one of her best episodes, I think. I mean, there were so many on that. I love the scene where in the Porsche where Dylan and Brenda break up for the first time, and
oh my god,
My Religion is playing.
Losing My Religion. Oh my god.
It's just so iconic. That scene is so good.
That is one of the like glaring omissions from the DVDs with the music rights and everything. I'm just like, where's Losing My Religion? Like that's the one moment I remember.
I'll be honest, I've seen 90210 so many times, the original music. I know when it's missing. I know what should be playing.
Yeah. What about you, Eric?
I want to go with some Prue moments when she like protected her sisters. She always would step in front of them. I always loved that. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's so many. I have like so many things in my head. I'm like, I can picture like Chris Witherspoon going off about something with their grandfather, and like, I don't know. We got a lot going
on. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I don't know why this scene popped into my head, but it was when Emily Valentine first came on to 90210, and she was dating Brandon and Dylan. Like she like went out with one, and the next night went out with the other. And she talked about she had to go to the gynecologist because her mom put her on birth control. And I just remember her being like, have fun at the gynecologist. Like she was like slut-shaming her. For years, me and my best friend Jessica used to just randomly say that to each other, like, have fun at the gynecologist.
That's great.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, I just remembered a moment. It was like one of my first episodes of Beverly Hills 90210 that I watched. It was when she thought she had breast cancer, ironically enough.
Yeah.
So, and I thought she did a really good job with that.
She did.
That was a great episode too.
Her and Carol Potter.
Also, I had to mention Laverne. That was amazing.
Lavoine.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite moments in season 1. That was amazing.
So funny.
Yeah.
I like the rap line episode.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Season too. 1. That was a really good episode.
Mm-hmm.
She did great in that one. I like the spring dance episode where her and Dylan finally had sex. Well, finally, they had sex for the first time.
Right.
Fine.
Which was controversial, and that's why they had to do the pregnancy scare.
Yeah, and then they broke them up,
and I feel like one of the first episodes I watched may have been the end of season 2 for Jackie's wedding, like when Brenda and Dylan went to Mexico and she got stuck there because she didn't have her passport. I think that's what got me hooked, and I was like, I need to watch this in the summer.
Yeah.
Oddly, that was supposed to be like the backdoor pilot for Melrose Place, and I didn't watch Melrose Place until like 2006 when it came out on DVD. Because if I wasn't allowed to watch 90210, I definitely was not allowed to watch Melrose Place.
Forbidden.
Shannen would have been great on Melrose. It's a shame she didn't jump there later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other moments. Oh, so oddly enough, I really like her storylines in season 4. Like, I like the whole acting one. Eric, you said she wasn't a fan of that one.
She wasn't a fan of Kelly and the triangle, really, because she's like she didn't like that best friends would actually do that.
Right.
They were supposed to be really close.
I believe that.
She's like, if my friend did that, I would cut her off and she wouldn't be talked to ever again. She said it on her podcast. And, stuff.
I actually really like the Stewart storyline where she almost gets married in season 4, because it was very quick, and it was just like, wow, it felt like it was like bang bang bang, but it was multiple episodes, and then Stewart left and came back, and they were still kind of dating. So I don't know, that was really intriguing to me.
I also liked her in Paris with Dean Cain when she was pretending to be French. That was great.
I like that too.
Or she had that scene with Donna when they were eating cow brains at the restaurant.
Oh my god,
that's
like one of my earliest memories of the show, where Donna spits the cow brains out.
Yeah.
And then Donna understood the saleswoman, like kind of saying, "Oh, stupid French girl."
Yeah.
I thought they really went to Paris for that, but she said in the podcast it was just like a backlot.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. I just figured they could afford it at the time. I don't know.
Right. I feel like once they went with Dylan and Kelly, they didn't know what to do with Brenda. Like, they kept sort of lightly pairing her with that guy Tony at the end of season 3, the football player. Like, she went to prom with him, and he had like a small crush on her, but she was like, it's not going to happen. That's why I think I liked Stewart, because it felt more serious.
Yeah.
But her and Dylan
was David Gale, right?
Yes.
David Gale.
Okay. Yeah. Well, also, unfortunately,
passed away recently.
Yeah.
Also in his 50s, like.
Yeah.
The hell.
And he was I think he did the 90210 podcast last year too. I think.
Yeah, he did.
He did? Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let's see. Is there anybody in the chat? Did I already share this? Kenneth said that his funniest moment was when Kelly and Brenda wore the same dress at the spring dance.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The horizontal poke. Okay, just got what that meant, Kenneth.
Yeah.
I feel like in season 1, if it wasn't a Brenda episode, it was a Brandon episode, and Brenda would get stuck with plot lines like she wanted to like bring a homeless dog home.
Yeah.
Or she like moved out because she wanted to like do poetry and she like be on her own and independent. Trying to think what else.
I see Ashley mentioned the robbery episode at the Peach Pit.
Oh, yes. I really like the 90210 episode where Brenda is involved in the robbery at the Peach Pit. She sees the thief robbing the restaurant and has nightmares afterwards. Yes.
Yeah, very good one.
Yeah.
But
also, the Color Me Bad episode is fun too. I love that one.
Yeah, that's a good episode. I also like the one where her and Kelly are taking the cardio funk and they like have a crush on their instructor.
Yes.
They should have had Rhonda there giving that class. Remember Rhonda Melrose Place?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The cardio funk.
And I also like the episode, the backstory where she like inadvertently like talks to like this trashy news, like TMZ basically.
Yeah.
And they like twist the truth about everybody's reputation and everybody's mad at her.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like that's the episode where she quit smoking from Paris because she started smoking in Paris.
That's right. I also like one of my favorite scenes is when Brenda and Dylan are running out of she's running after Dylan out of the hotel, and it's like their first date, and he's like, getting really angry, and she's like, I forget what happens, but it's a very good scene.
Oh, they're arguing, and he like breaks a flower pot. And
yes, he breaks the flower pot. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, looking at that now, looks a little bit like abusive, like he's gonna like hurt her or something. But
well, they were kids.
That is really their first kiss.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Angel.
I really liked her chemistry with Ted. Well, he was TW at the time. He'll always be TW King to me. But with Ted King on Charmed, I really liked her chemistry with him.
Yeah, I say when Andy died was one of her best performances on that.
Yes.
It was really good.
Yeah. I'm surprised she never got on Nip Tuck. I feel like she would have did good on Nip Tuck. With the whole
she was dating Julian McMahon for a little bit.
Well, and I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking because he was.
Maybe that's why. Because they broke up. He's like,
didn't they do a TV movie together?
They did. Yes.
I remember seeing that in like Soap Opera Update.
Yeah, I want to say it was like a sci-fi one. I forget.
Oh, really?
Called.
I always wanted her and Sarah Michelle Gellar to work together.
Yeah, same. I was actually just thinking about that earlier. They never worked together.
Yeah. And being friends, you would think they would have figured something out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I only like in the maybe like pre-COVID era found out that they were like really best friends. So like I wanted that back when like Buffy and Charmed was still on. Like I wanted to cross over.
And that's when
her
they
and Halle Berry Combs were really close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like that predated Charmed. In fact, it was the reason. I forgot who. One was the reason that the other got the role in Charmed. I don't know if it was Halle was the reason that Shannen got it, or Shannen was the reason Halle got the role.
I feel like Shannen was casted first.
I think Shannen
was so she got Halle. Yeah, so she got Halle on there.
Yeah, she got Halle on there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking, wow, she's working with Aaron Spelling again when they first announced Charmed.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe there's hope she'll come back as Brenda one day. Oh, speaking of which, we haven't even mentioned this. I was like really excited for the CW 90210 reboot when I found out she was going to be on it.
Same.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I bailed on it once they stopped showing the original actors on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was smart of you because it was really terrible after that.
Was it?
It was really bad.
I
stuck till the end.
Great.
Yeah, because like
not bad.
Horrible. I thought it was awful.
Yeah, Sinead Grimes initially was like, oh, because I loved Degrassi. So she was one of the reasons why I watched, and then but then with the cast on there, I was like, oh, this is good. And then like when they left, I was like, Sinead Grimes won't save me from this.
Yeah, I was really surprised they killed Jackie Taylor on there. I was like, really? You killed Jackie? But
Yeah.
that's why I was actually excited about the BH 90210. I flip flop. Like I liked what they did. It was good, but it was very polarizing because not everybody went into that. Like I feel like most fans went into that hoping for it to be a continuation, even though they specifically said from every interview that that's not what this was.
I know. I loved it. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was a smart way to bring it back. I mean, like what would it have been? Like them in their 40s? You know, like if it did, like I think that this was the best way to do it, and I guess fans just weren't on it. I can't imagine it like how they would all come back and just be in a new one. They're not teens anymore. It's not gonna work.
A reunion.
That's what I liked.
That's how you bring it back. That's how you bring it back for a limited series, and it's a reunion.
Well, it was a reunion. I liked all the actors.
No, I mean
so
with the characters,
like their high school reunion or whatever.
And then they all just happened to stay there. Like I don't know. I don't think it would have worked. Which I felt like they felt the same because what are they going to do? They're all in their 40s and 50s. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
Speaking of reunions, did you guys watch the 10-year high school reunion special?
Yes,
that was like the first time Shannen came back.
I did.
I missed that.
I was actually graduating high school when they had their 10-year high school reunion. So I was like, oh my god, 90210 was coming back, and then it was just a sit down interview. But I was just so excited that Shannen was there because I was like,
the same exact thing.
Did they just sit around and talk? Like what was it?
Yeah, they just sit around and talk and reminisce.
Yeah. Basically, Married with Children did that too. Like they just sat around and talk and showed clips.
I was very observant of like the body language and like everybody who hugged who back then. Because
there were so many rumors.
I know.
It's crazy.
But
that was like me watching the General Hospital Paley Center thing. I was like, who's sitting next to him? Who likes who? Who doesn't like who?
Well, some of them don't even know each other. Like when I meet them in person, like they talk about them like they don't even know they're there. Like because they don't interact. If their characters don't interact, they don't even know they're on there. They're like, oh, are they on the show? Like they don't know. But their cast is so big.
Right. Didn't Shannen do like a rock music video? Wasn't she in a music video back in like the early 90s?
Hold on.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know about that.
I know she said producers were not happy with her. They were not happy with her when she posed for Playboy, and they were not happy for her when she cut her hair, as Angel mentioned early on.
And the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it was a questionable supermarket sweep.
But do you guys have anything else to add before we wrap this up?
Let me see if I can find out what the music video was. So I'm looking on. Let me see.
I could tell you about when I made an ass of myself when I met her the first time. I was like, "I love you so much." It's like because that's when I started first meeting celebrities. It was like 2008, and I was like, "I love you so much," and she was just like, "Thank you, thank you." She was like so sweet and like nervous.
Didn't you see her like in this past year, like at one of the 90s?
Yeah. So when I met her, I got her to sign. I got all of them to sign my my DVDs set, and then like I regretted that. I'm like, I should have got a picture. So then when she did like she did one by mail, like a signing by mail, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So I got that, and I have that right here. It's my.
Oh.
And then she signed down there. I got that by mail, and then I got the Charmed poster signed when I met her last year. And then I was going to meet her again, and because I was like going to meet her every time she's around because I love her that much. And I was going to get my second season Charmed poster signed.
Did you ever meet her, Derek?
No.
I don't do conventions, and Eric goes to every convention.
I don't go to everyone. There's 100 conventions.
She was supposed to come to, it's now called Fan Expo in Philadelphia, but I think she canceled. So I only met Holly and Brian Krause, and the music video was "Real Love" by Slaughter.
I remember that.
Okay. All right.
But all right, do you guys have anything else to add, or you want to wrap this up?
No, we'll just miss her.
Yeah, I'll miss
Loved
her
her so.
deeply.
Yeah, I'm so sorry she's gone. She was an icon for sure.
Luckily, we'll be able to relive all her moments through DVD streaming. And
Well, that's what that's what I wanted to say. So I watched Little House on the Prairie. That's on Prime. Our House episodes are on YouTube. All of them, I think, are on there. Some of them, they're not labeled correctly, but some of them are like 2 episodes in one.
Okay.
So just look up Our House and watch that. 90210 is on. Where did I
Paramount
watch that
Plus.
on? Paramount Plus. I watched that on. Charmed is on Peacock and Prime, or Paramount Plus as well, I think.
I think Pluto has a 90210 channel also.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
Pluto's
do.
on that channel.
And the Charmed channel, I believe, too.
And usually with those channels, they also have on-demand options, and there's commercials
Mhm.
obviously because it's free. But
And they're all free. Just download Pluto. Watch it all day.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this little walk down memory lane for Shannen. As always, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.